Welcome, welcome, welcome. 1,000 welcomes from the city of Limerick. We are here at pitch number 3 for the last game of today. We have a women's masters game ahead of us. Berta from Canada taking on Soar from the US. My name is Rachel Toshnerova and I'm joined by the lovely
Etienne Fournier.
So a nice representation of Canada and an attempt on an American accent by me. How has the day been so far for you, Etienne? Have you had a good day? Saw some cool day?
Could not be better. I saw some exciting games throughout the days, and I'm really looking forward to this one. So Berta from Canada, they were initially seeded number 7 of Pool B of the Women Masters. So far they have 2 wins and 3 losses, while Soar, they were initially seeded number 3. They now have 4 victories, 1 loss.
So Soar will start us on offense with a big gainer to Coombs. She centers the desk back. Canadians going for match D in this first point of the game. That's Broom on the sideline, gets it off in the middle to Metzler, who immediately puts it deep. That's a floaty disc into traffic and will end on the ground with a chance for the Canadians to move the other way. Kuhn working with Lee. And here's a high backhand. 2 players underneath. Nice second effort by Kenning. She goes back to Remington. Kuhn again to Clark, who is not wearing her usual number 12, but had to exchange for a Canadian jersey with the number 2. Another turnover occurs, and Soar with a second chance to work the disc downwind. They leave one player quite deep, get the gainer eventually. Morris now with the disc, goes for the reset, gets it again. Quick pass to Coombs, and Coombs with a huge inside backhand that is floating so nicely directly into the hands of the receiver. Now that was a lovely, lovely put into the end zone. Soar not with a clean hold, but surely with an impressive ending of the first point.
Great response from Soar O-line after losing the disc at their first possession. They were able to defend it very, very well, even though the Canadian D-line made a strong effort to score the first break point. But what a great response from Soar's O-line, scoring the first point of the game, 1-0 early in the first half.
Let's have a look at the beautiful inside backhand from Veronica Coombs.
How can you not love those backhand inside out over 40, 50 yard long passes? That was an amazing throw.
And Amy Broom with the score, 43 years of age, has club experience from Mulato Davao in the Philippines, played on Public Enemy from Dallas, Texas, and she was on her honeymoon last year at Masters Nationals when they earned their bid to Worlds.
Good way to celebrate your wedding.
So a first O point for Canada will be stopped almost immediately by a foul on the mark. This gets tapped back in by Embry. She gets the disc on the other sideline, tries to go for the continuation, is looked off, and Harding now looking for options. Finds her teammate Nichols on the sideline, and Nichols with a big curving forehand into the end zone for a clean hold for Berta, responding with a point of their own. We're tied at 1.
flawless execution from Berta O-line, and I just love the last passes that just went over Soar's defender right in the space for the score. So we are tied at 1, which is looking to be in a very tight and well-fought game.
Ambery, originally from Calgary, but no, now living in Calgary, but originally from Ottawa. 31, just at the age limit for the Masters division. 30 being the limit age or minimum age for women, 33 for men.
So those age limit we kind of struggled with earlier in this tournament, but now
that is correct.
We know them very, very well.
We finally got them straight. It only took us about 3 days. And the hand goes up, and it will be Clark with the pull. The Canadians rush down for the match D. And a big hook, big backhand, floats into the end zone. Several people underneath, but it is the Canadians who get a hand on that for the D.
Great attempt by Soar. There were two receivers for that backhand, which started at the break mark and crossed the field downwind. But unfortunately, very kind of difficult to read, and a lot of pressure from Berta's also on those two receivers.
So Berta will go the other way. Clark looking for options, goes with a lefty curvy forehand, who is saved by Remington. Remington centers to Fung. And here's a nice break to the near sideline, followed up by a big hook, backhand into the end zone, floats out of bounds. Great quick sideways movement from the Canadians.
It was a great decision. It's just that the disc was missing some. It was a great out angle, but there was some in angle missing in that disc.
Metzler centers the disc, and they almost immediately find Morris. And not sure how much we can attribute that D to Canadian defense, but an incredible immediate interception by Soar. That's Broom, who got a hand on that, and now she collects the disc on the sideline with an extension in the air. And here is the quick backhand slice into the end zone for the score. I believe that was Obi with the assist.
Great movement by Soar along the sideline, but there is some discussions now.
I think Obi's on the ground. Could be that there was some contact between her and the mark potentially. And we have Chirwang with the score. Not 30 yet, still 29, but she's been playing for near 10 years. Comes from Tulsa and is a chemical engineer.
So for those who wonder when is the critical date to turn 30 to be eligible in the Master Division, well, the date is December 31st. So as long as you turn 30 within the calendar year, you are eligible to play.
And we have some, Chirwink asked us to do some shout outs when she does something cool on the stream, which she did indeed. So
she would like to tell her friends from Tulsa, from OK Ultimate Community, that she loves you and she wouldn't be playing so much Frisbee if it weren't for all you wild souls.
Also shout out to Mike and Izzy for putting up with her crazy sport activities for so many years. So 2 offensive holds for Soar, 1 for Berta. They find themselves on offense again. A nice pull ends close to the sideline. Doug Dugan. working with Nichols. Now to Ho. Nichols in the middle. Keeps it swinging to Ambery. Soar coming out in an arrowhead zone.
First time we're seeing a zone so far in this game.
And it bears its fruits as Soar with their matching underpants. Teal, we know that's the favorite color of our fellow commentator Troy Weston, find themselves with a great chance for a first break of the game, and they do get it as they manage to keep their feet in for the final score, and that's a first break of the game. Soar go up 3-1.
Sometimes when you want to create a break, you got to try something new. So good decision from Soar to put down a zone, a defense, and they were fortunate enough to create a turnover about midfield, and quickly they moved the disc up with a great transition, leaving not much room for adjusting for Berta, and scoring the first break point of the game. Soar ahead now 3-1 against Berta.
And that was Cherwing with the assist. Excellent around curving backhand into the end zone. I think Berta got a little too comfortable with that zone. We do have about the calmest conditions that we've had all tournament long. There's very little wind, there's no rain, and I could almost admit I'm not freezing.
Which would be, I believe, the first time since last Sunday that you're not freezing. So that's a very, very good news.
That is true. A huge floaty pole goes up in the air. I believe it landed inbounds, even though it licked the sideline a tiny bit. And it seems like Berta will take the sideline perspective and might move to the brick. Nope. Will get tipped in and swung immediately laterally.
Soar is back with their zone defense, which paid off the last time. And there's the turnover, about 10 yards shy of the end zone.
Americans pick up immediately. That's Navarro with the assist to Wooldridge. Quick response from Soar, putting another break, adding another break to the scoreboard. For Berta, I think that was not the defensive pressure that caused that turnover. It really was just a wobble on the catch. Watamaniok was going for a short pass, and maybe her receiver wasn't really expecting it anymore, and we get a replay on that quick upline move by Soar straight into the end zone.
So Berta's calling a timeout. They got broken the last 2 points. They're trailing by 3 early in this first half.
And if you want to see what happens, please join us after a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Pitch 3 after a timeout in this last game of today here at the World Masters Ultimate Club Championship in Limerick. We have a women's Masters game between the powerhouses of Soar from the US, taking on Berta, Canada. We saw a quick soaring start from the US team, scoring a couple breaks in a row. So Berta find themselves on offense again. Lots of engagement in the comments on YouTube. We love to see that. Please do join us with the banter, with the fun facts. Hit us up. Just like that big backhand that goes almost all the way to the end zone. It is collected by number 35 right in front of it. And Berta very close, and it needs 2 more passes for the disc to end up in the end zone for Berta, and that's just what they needed. A quick offensive look to bring them the score they needed, and now they can concentrate on defense.
Perfect payoff from a timeout call from Berta. Really finding the hole into Soar's zone defense, just putting it long. What an amazing backhand
Great
throw
read by
from
Blazer.
Berta. That was just on target. And after that, there were only 2 dishes passed from their second point. They're now trailing by 4-2 for the US team.
Nice assist by Embry.
So as you mentioned, Rachel, there's a lot of great comments on the YouTube feed. It sounds like it's more the Soar fans that are making their voices heard.
Lots of fans for both teams, both for Soar and for Berta. And you can hear the sideline getting super active, trying to fire up Berta's defense to get back some of the breaks that they have lost at the start of the game. And here is another banger into the end zone, this time from somebody who is usually on the throwing end. It was Metzler, right? Metzler trying to run that one down. It was just out of reach for her. And Berta get the chance for the break that they were hoping for, but not really. Metzler has the disc now near the opponent's brick mark, and she eventually puts up a backhand into traffic, but it will be the Americans who are slightly more aware of where the disc is, and that is Jenna Bigby for the score.
Time was running out for Soar's handler. Stall was getting very, very high, but she fortunately found a way to make that high release backhand towards her receiver to score their 5th point.
Bigby out of Texas, living in Austin right now. She says, when I'm not playing Ultimate, I'm usually knitting or watching true crime documentaries. Well, we are surely glad that you weren't doing just that when that disc went up, because this was an important hold for Soar, keeping their lead 5-2 over Berta, Canada.
When you see that amazing athlete just ripping the field, knitting is not necessarily the first thing you think about as a leisure in her spare time. But still, that's what she's doing.
Another big pull goes up. No hesitation in catching it from Berta. They move the disc sideways, trying to work around the Soar zone. But we will see whether there will be any soreness. After all, still big swings. Harding goes to Elias. Elias playing with a face mask on. An interesting feature that I'm seeing for the first time on the field. Berta thinking about options downfield, not seeing much. They fake the scoober, but it's more demonstrative. And here's the big forehand, but 2 defenders sandwiching the receiver, eventually get the D, and Soar move the other way. Oh, and a great heads-up defense by number 28, Heather Embry. And here is the pop into the end zone, a low release backhand to the forehand side by Elias.
Great anticipation from number 28, who really was one step ahead and just anticipated that pass. Caught it to dish it, that a few seconds later Berta's team scored their third point of the game, still trailing by 2.
Hello, everyone in the comments. Thank you for tuning in from everywhere. We've got people from BC. We've got people from Texas. I'm pretty sure I saw a shout out to Paul Utesh, the former coach of Public Enemy, as well as the Czech national team for a while. I hope you and your wife and your baby, that's probably not a baby anymore, are doing well. Keep them coming. We love the engagement. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure not to miss any more action here in Limerick. We have 2 fields, streams from all different divisions coming to you throughout the week. And we move on to another poll for Soar. This time, Berta switches to match D. Another huge backhand into the end zone, but they make it look too easy. 2 passes straight into the end zone. No hesitation whatsoever. Soar absolutely rocking it on the O side of things.
2 passes, 13 seconds long point. That's what you want as an O-line, but Berta will have to figure out a way of slowing down Soar's O-line, because so far the break point have been scored only by the American team. Berta is still hunting for their first break point of the game.
That was Big B again with the score, so I think it's time to give a shout out to her fans at home, her boyfriend Corey, her dad Mark, her 2 brothers Aaron and Ryan, and their significant others Kelsey and Fernando.
We have seen Soar playing zone defense on Berta's O-line. Maybe that's one of the options of Berta's coaching staff, to see if that's something they should try in order to slow down Soar's O-line. But in the meantime, Berta is on the receiving end and are setting up a zone defense.
Elias to pick up right on the half field line. Goes back to Dugan. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Now Ho has it. Standard handler set for Berta. Elias takes a wide swing. Ho looking for continuation.
Berta's being very patient, still looking for the hole into Soar's wall zone defense.
They take it backwards and Harding has it. Goes back to Dugan. Duggan. Dogan. Elias looking for options, but that backhand was a bit too quick on the release, and it lands on the ground, giving Soar another chance for a break. They pick up almost immediately, and we see lots of players quite deep downfield, forcing the thrower to put up a dangerous shot. Elias will pick up on the sideline as Soar switch to match D. Elias looking for the around, doesn't have it, and will have to put up a big flick. It curves nicely into the end zone, and it is collected this time by Laura Harding. Good last minute vision from Elias, and that's another one for the scoreboard for Berta.
The stall was getting high. They were being played matchup defense, and she decided to go long with a nice flick, just floaty enough in order for a receiver to reach out for it. Even though there was a ton of pressure coming down behind, she still kept her focus to give her team their 4th point of the game. Berta's trailing 4-6 against Soar.
So now I feel like it's looking like a much more even game than at the start, where Soar were able to get the few extra turns in and score the breaks. But if Berta will be able to keep up the intensity and stick close, there's always the chance for them to come from behind at the right time and take the lead.
So as we mentioned, Berta's D-line will have to figure out Soar's O-line, because so far they have been perfect. No break point. Even though there was a couple of opportunities, they were not able to take advantage of those opportunities.
Great brave catch of that pull in the wind. And here's a nice gainer for Soar. Moving the disc quickly towards the end zone. That was Obi with a low disc for Morris. Morris takes it around to Metzler. Metzler looking for the upline, but goes for the around. Incredibly safe grab with two hands by Broom. Broom throwing in big fakes, trying to activate Metzler. But Metzler just standing there going for, just throw it. And here is a beautiful forehand, but it gets picked up by the wind, goes over the head of Obi.
So let's see what kind of defense Soar will put against Berta's D-line, which is now in possession of the disc with a break opportunity, but they are now deep into their own end zone. And here's the Callahan, but there's a call.
I believe Vatamaniuk will claim that the disc got ripped out of her hand as she already stopped the rotation and held onto it. The players will have a short discussion with a chance to call in a game advisor who might have had a good perspective from the sideline or to help with the interpretation of rules. You can have a look for yourselves on our replay. The players can do so as well. But it seems like they will choose the easiest solution, which is just to send the disc back. Berta stuck in their own end zone, looking for options. And here is the D by Morris.
Amazing matchup pressure by Soar against Berta.
Soar knocking on the doorstep. They will go backwards. And there it is, the well-known duo of Morris and Metzler. Morris on the receiving end, Metzler with the nice slicey forehand. They take Soar 7-4 up over Berta.
We're almost at the 30 minutes point of this game, and still we're 1 point shy of halftime, so it's pretty fast pace of a game. We've seen slower paces there throughout the last 3 days, but considering the nice weather that we have right now, it's windy, but not that bad. It's fairly steady wind going, I would say, from the left-hand side of your screen towards the right-hand side, so playing upwind and downwind. So
that's correct. I think the conditions completely uncomparable to the rest of the game so far, and I love that we finally get a chance on the stream for these teams to really show off their skill. And we've been seeing it. We saw the happiness in their eyes when they saw their hucks finally coming off the way they intended and actually getting to the hands of the receivers. And here is Soar with their zone once again. Berta with their standard set of handlers. Nichols finding Desjardins. And here is a huge opener over both the second and first cup of the Soar zone. Harding centers to Ho. A little short on options, but eventually it's Ambery who gets open. Ambery with a big put into the end zone. Thing of beauty. That's a score for Berta, an important hole. They're keeping close. 7-5, Soar up over Berta, Canada.
And it all started with a nice flick over the top of the cup in the open space, which forced Soar to really twist it on their heel back to play some defense. But what a great discipline from the Berta's team near the end zone with a nice little flick to an up the line cut for their 5th point of the game. closing the gap, but still trailing by 2.
I would call that a big flick to the little Ho, who is 33 years of age and has fans at home watching. It's her family. Dad Thomas and Mom Teresa must be so proud of her. She lives in Calgary right now, but is originally from Vancouver, has been playing for 16 years. Club experience include Dinah and Zephyr. Her sporting hero is Leanne Hoffman. And she's an avid birder and has had 2 knee surgeries. None of them, of course, preventing her from showing off on the pitch for the last time with a great score. And here is Berta, with Match D and Morris doing lots of work downfield for the Soar team. Coombs looking for options, finds her reset. Metzler now. A pick call downfield. So the players will agree on the stall count. That is Broom now with the disc. Gets it checked in. Nice low grab. And here's Metzler with a huge inside flick for a score, but it will not stand because a pick occurred on Obi.
It looks like the receiver was oddly by herself in the end zone. Reason why, her defender was the victim of a pick.
Metzler again looks in the break side, will go with the inside flick. No continuation. And here's a huge hand block, but the disc will be saved nonetheless. That's Big B. And another inside flick for the score. This time it is Veronica Coombs, who already has 2 assists to her name in this game, and now she adds a goal. She is 43, so way over the minimum age requirement, but that doesn't really show in her performance on the field. We should look for her getting open, clearing space for teammates, and having good solid hands on the grabs, and we will see just that on that replay. Wonderful grab by Veronica Coombs. She teaches Ultimate at her kids' homeschool and homeschool co-op, and served a term on the board of the Dallas Ultimate Association. She started playing Ultimate competitively while living in the Philippines.
What a spectacular way to end the halftime. So Soar is now leading 8-5, and what a way to recover. How do you recover from a hand block? Well, your teammate catches the disc afterwards. So that's great. Great team effort, so great focus, great awareness by Soar, who are in control.
That's true, Etienne. And I think this might have been the shortest half we've had so far on the stream, only 33 minutes into the game. And I was so busy reading the interesting facts that the players so kindly filled out in our player surveys that I did not even notice that we are at half. In any case, we do have a few minutes to take a breather here in the commentary booth, and I strongly advise you do so as well, and we will see you on the other side. Checking out is Rachel Toshnerova, and
see you soon.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
They're not allowed to. Take it up, man. Go get it.
Looking good, Berta! It's not cool anymore.
Welcome back to the second half of some great action on this pitch number 3 here in Limerick. Masters women are waiting for their disc, or else waiting for the time of the halftime break to run out. We have some excellent sideline support and sideline action from Tay, Smith, and Shepard of the Canadian team, Berta, doing their bit on the sideline. We know how important sideline is, and we want to give a huge shout out to every player that does not get enough chances to show off on the pitch, because sideline is equally important. And if you are currently on the sideline, maybe with an injury, maybe with just a mean coach that doesn't want to let you play, always remember that my Eurostar sister Sarah got herself injured on a Friday of windmill tournament that my team made all the way to the finals, and she couldn't play it, and she stuck to the sideline, and she did great for us. But back to the action of the field, where Berta start on offense, and they're facing off the Soar zone of the Americans. They will move sideways as the wind allows for a little more leeway with short, precise passes. Here is Nichols working with Harding in the handler space.
Soar putting again their zone defense, which has paid off so far. They were the only one of the two teams that have scored break point early in the first half, but it seems like Berta has adapted fairly well to their zone defense.
Oh, we'll go backwards to Desjardins. Now Nichols has it again. Seems like there's very few options. But of course, as I say that, they get a huge gainer to Ambery. Ambery's been really big, and the Americans now switching to match D. Here's a big swing to Nichols. Nichols with a huge backhand break towards, I think she was going for the front cone of the end zone, but it almost reached the back cone, and the person nearest was indeed a Soar defender.
It was a little too high and had a little too much gas on it.
Not a bad look after all. Soar will have the whole playfield to cross going upwind. They centered the disc first to get themselves in a more favorable position, but now they're back on the sideline. Thinking about the big flick, they do put it up. Lots of defenders under, and there is somebody to pick up the garbage. Excellent look by Eccles. 35 years of age.
There was some body bumping near the spot where the disc landed. So we're looking at the replay to see exactly what happened because it goes so fast. So number 22.
I'll tell you what
just
happened.
Bumping number 17, which partially D'd the disc, but it was caught by number 19. Whoa, that's
exactly,
a lot of
because
action.
Eccles was perfectly coached by her husband Rob Doyle, who is the coach of their team, and it was also the wishful thinking of their cat named Henry for Eccles to actually catch that disc with such precision, collecting the garbage. She's an elementary teacher, so she's probably used to picking up garbage quite a bit. She also enjoys rock climbing though, gardening, biking, and reading. She loves her master's team, and she's been honored to be the spirit captain for Soar. In the meantime, the players have resolved the difficult situation, and she taps the disc back into play. Soar keeping possession. Eccles dumps the disc just for it to be put back up into the end zone. Lots of players underneath, and difficult to say who actually got the deed there, if it was Berta or the teammate of the intended receiver.
Woolridge from Soar just whips this nasty flick upwind towards the end zone. Unfortunately, it was not caught by her teammate, but what a nice pass.
Desjardins and Nichols. Steady handling for Berta. Here's a nice quick break to Desjardins. They get a gainer, but are stopped again. Nichols to Desjardins. Desjardins to Harding. These four players have been getting lots of touches against this Soar zone. Ho. Thinking about the throws over the cup, but Soar defender is there. Harding is here, isolated on the side, but the handlers don't seem to either see her or take a chance. And here is a great awareness and interception by Soar. They immediately go the other way. Navarro looking for the reset to Woolridge. Woolridge was the one who got that nice D. She has the disc again. Examining the options downfield. There's a gainer to Sherwick. And that's a huge forehand into the end zone. But defender gets a slightly better position. The receiver baits on it, and the disc floats over both their heads.
Once again, a wicked flick by player wearing number 0, Brooke Woolridge. She was midfield, and she just whipped that disc down the end zone. Now there's some contact and a call near the break mark.
I think a foul will be called on the catch, most probably. Hard to tell whether Ho had possession of the disc. That's up to her to tell her defender, but it seems like it's the thrower who is discussing a call with her mark. So there might have been a variety of calls during that last passage of play. Regardless, Soar dangerously close to the Berta end zone. And it seems like a series of uncontested calls will result in Ho keeping possession for Berta.
Let's see if Soar will have the time to set their zone up, or will they switch to matchup defense. It seems it's going back to number 33, Nichols. The disc is back into play.
Harding. Goes back to Nichols. Ho now has it. The wind picking up slightly, and here is the good lateral movement. Quick passes by Berta's handlers. Ho trying to hit Amber in the middle. Amber is sneakily moving around the first cup, looking for a space to open up for continuation. She's even navigating Desjardins. Berta progressing very slowly but steadily.
Berta's poppers are looking to time their cuts with the swing passes, but it's been a difficult task so far, considering very well run Roar's D-line.
And here's the pass through to Ambery. High disc collected well by Desjardins. Centers to Nichols. It's Harding again. She has the continuation from Ho. Finally a nice upline cup, and Harding is there for the upline. Ho doesn't take it. Nichols guarded very closely. Few options for Ho. She puts up a flick for Ambery. Ambery knocking on the doorstep. Goes to the middle to Ho. Several people striking up line, but the space is in the break side. No, it isn't. A nice shutdown D, but here's Ambery with the collection. Ho goes over the top. She got a goal early in the game. Now she adds an assist to her stats. That was great shutdown defense by Soar, but Berta still finding their way around it. Great stuff from the Canadians, staying close.
Great patience, and I just love the way that Ho has worked out the field. She was on the left-hand side of the handling team of Berta, but then with the minute they have went over the cup, she just moved to the right-hand side in order to provide support to her teammate as a dump. So great awareness of the field by Ho from Berta. And I'd like also to highlight number 22 from Soar, Jennifer McMillan, who just laid out fully horizontally in order to try to block the disc. She was just a little shy, but there was many people on the sideline who just went, oh, after her layout bid.
So just to catch up on some of the banter in the comments, please keep them coming. It is apparently said that Jenna Bigby used to challenge dudes to crossfield sprints after league games and roasted them. There's also some mansplaining going on from Tony, saying Berta's central handler needs to keep that swing swinging. Actually, I think, Tony, that they're doing just fine without you. But do keep the advice going so that we have some more enjoyment out of it. In the meantime, Soar quickly progressing downfield and downwind. Big fakes thrown, but the disc gets swung. They fake the hammer. Unfortunately, they don't take it. For us to have some more fun on the stream. And here's a nice upline cut. Quick movement. And another one. It's hanging, and it will be caught. Incredible grab. Teammates immediately signal a point, saying that she did get a hand under that disc on time. I'm sure we'll have a replay. Here's the first upline cut. And here is the continuation that floats a little bit over the head. Oh, wonderful catch. I think there's no doubt about it. That was an excellent effort on the last pass from Soar. 50 minutes into the game, Soar go up 9-6 over Berta.
They might have wondered if she cut it inbound or out of bound, but everybody agreed afterward that she caught it inbound. What a nice grab from her right hand, just landing very, very hardly on the ground to save that disc and provide her team their first point of the second half. Soar leading 9-6. So we have seen an amazing show so far on this webcast. The two teams really fighting very, very hard in order to get that victory, which Soar have already 4 of them since the beginning of this tournament, while Berta has suffered 3 losses and 2 wins so far.
Well, if you do want to have a little bit more insight into the results so far, please feel free to go to results.wfdf.sport/ WMUCC. You will find out that Master Women's games are taking place in 2 pools, A and B. This is Pool B, 18 teams in total. Top 4 from each team go directly into bracket or directly into quarters, so to speak. Oh, and here is Berta with a nice gainer straight into the end zone. Ho with a second score for her stats. She is ecstatic. Look at that cute celebration. Berta with a clean offensive hold. It didn't take too many passes. I just managed to summarize quickly what the system is for the Masters division.
So still a flawless execution from Berta's O-line. 5-6 passes top in just probably less than 15 seconds. That's the way you want your O-line to respond on a score being a goal being scored on you. So great response, and looking forward to Berta's answer to that on their D-line, because they're still hunting for their first break point of the game, while Soar has so far scored 2 break points.
Very solid O-line performances from both these teams, and it seems like it will be the story of who will put on more defensive pressure, and it will be the D-lines who will win the game for these teams. Here is another pull by Berta.
Great pull.
None other than
Zone
Jen
defense by
Clark.
Berta. First time since the beginning of the game that they're setting a zone defense against Soar O-line.
Broom gets the disc on the sideline.
It looks like an FSU zone defense.
Berta with a very tight first cup. Metzler fakes the around. Goes to the middle to Brewer. And now there is a quick movement through the zone, quick continuation. Great layout grab from Morris. And Morris has it again, and here is the quick pass to Obi. She's been pretty big in the end zone for Soar as well. Great defensive effort on that last throw. I hope we get a replay to see who tried to prevent that last pass, but in fairness, it was the open side the whole way, I believe.
Perfectly timed cut from Obi to give her team their 10th point of the game. Excellent job. So first time we saw Berta playing a zone defense. Amazing grab, just a few.
That's Morris, yeah.
Less than an inches of the ground, or a centimeter, I should say.
Broom moves the disc to the sideline back to Morris. And that was great effort by Tessa Kenning. But unfortunately, just a few centimeters too short for her to get that D. Kenning is 35 years old. Her home city and city that she still lives in is Nanaimo, and she's a pharmacist. She's a defensive cutter, and she has won the national championship in 2018 with her friends. This pull will be bricked by Berta, picked up by none other than Nicole Desjardins. And here is more of our media crew. We have photographers capturing the best moments together with 120 other volunteers at this championship. Here is a nice continuation. Just shy of the end zone. That is Blazer with the last put into the end zone. That will be defended though, and Soar go the other way. Really leaving their handlers by themselves in their own end zone. They finally managed to get it in the middle to Hundley. And here's a huge forehand from Wooldridge. She has a receiver underneath, but so are the 2 other defenders. They sandwich her, and it seems like there will be no call even though there was some contact, but the players will deem it incidental. Disc is back with Berta. Nichols. Wide disc to Ambery. Ambery immediately activates her reset. Nichols fakes the big backhand, doesn't take it. Now she's slightly stuck on options and will have to put up a big floaty backhand. 2 players underneath, and it's Ho who comes down with it. Her teammates hustling down the field, trying to make it to the end zone. Here is Ho for the upline cut, and what a great point it could have been for her again. But that disc, unfortunately, just out of reach. Good pressure, though, from Eccles.
It seems that Ho is just never running out of gas. She never gets tired. She just runs
she's all over the
place. Has a
place.
handler, and when she gives an opportunity, when there's an opportunity, she just strikes long and never gets tired. An amazing display of athleticism by master women players right here in Ireland.
And here's a great collection by Soar. They go through the break side. That's Eccles again. And that's an overthrow on the dump to Wooldridge. And a third chance to put the disc in for Berta, and probably a smart decision to take a little timeout, recollect themselves, and take a breather. And we will do so as well. Just to read through your lovely comments, keep them coming at the WFDF YouTube channel as we leave you with a word from our sponsors. Checking out. We are back after the timeout with Berta keeping possession after a few turnovers in this offensive point. Nichols will try to go for the break side immediately, but will call a foul from her mark.
This has been so far the longest point in the second half for sure. And
Good stat keeping, Etienne. Berta do get it off to the break side. Now it's Lejardin with an inside flick, which will fall to the ground after a layout attempt, and Soar moved quickly in the other direction. Centering to Wooldridge. Wooldridge working as always with Navarro. They go to McClory. Big gainer for Hundley. She's activating the reset. There ain't much, but they do get it to Cuppen. The Berta defense. And I think the thrower is signaling a timeout, but what she really means is actually a stoppage in the game. Nope, she does mean a timeout. All right, my bad. So another timeout call, which is already a second timeout in this point. Expert move from these Masters women. Good call, a good opportunity for Soar to jump off from Berta by one more point. Keep the heckle going in the chat. Yeah, there's too much for me to cover, really. But I do encourage everyone rewatching this game to go through the comments. It is good fun. Please keep it coming, and we will see you after we've taken a little breather. Welcome back. After the second timeout of this point, I would like to take this spot to thank our sponsors. Of course, WFDF supporting and promoting the global advancement of disc sports and spirit of the game worldwide. Then we have the VC outfitting the world's best ultimate players since 1998. They do have a merch tent here in Limerick, so if you would like some nice clothes, slightly nicer than that big backhand that just went off for Berta's side, please feel free to contact the players who are here to bring you some of these beautiful garments back home with them. And of course, we wouldn't be anywhere without our discs, which are Discraft, who are the world leader in disc sports. After a couple of more turnovers, we return to the action on the field. It is Soar now who have the disc, and Vuldrich puts up a huge floaty flick, which is collected by her teammate downfield. Oh, and here is the one for the score. Soar finally break after several turnovers in this long point. I believe, Etienne, you said it was the longest one. Soar reel it in for the score, and they go up 11-7.
Both of these teams knew how important was that long. Who's going to be the winner of this long point, which hosted 2 timeouts, and then Woodridge just ripping that flick about 50-55 yards long, and it was caught near the end zone, and there was just only one dish pass shy of the first break point of this second half. Soar 11, Berta trailing with only 7 points and still hunting down for their first break point of the game.
We saw a replay of that huge backhand put for hole and that massive layout, which unfortunately ended up being a bit too short. 31-2. That was Kirsten McClure with the assist and Lisa Wang with the score. Kirsten, 32 years of age. She's played on Tex-Mix and Hang Time. She doesn't have any national experience, but she is surely enjoying the playtime and the community here at Worlds. Her community contribution is that she brings a lot of snacks. Her nickname is Mom. Loving the action, Mom. Great stuff. And shout out to the fans at home, husband Greg and son William. A huge pull deep all the way into the end zone of Berta will be centered to Clark, who now has the disc again. Berta sticking to their zone defense. Seems like the direction of the wind doesn't make much of a difference, and there really isn't much Canadians definitely able to go over the cup here, but they choose to move the disc laterally instead, trying to go around the cup rather than over it. Here is a low grab and almost a D, but Harding holds on to it, and they try to go for a quick deep put into the end zone, but not the right edge on that throw. And Soar with a chance to jump off by another point as they walk it to the front of the end zone. We see a poach from Berta in the open side, but they don't poach all the way. And now the Americans with a chance to go through the break side, but a travel call will stop the play, it seems like.
It seems like Woodridge took a few too much steps after she caught the disc to stop. So
Woodridge will agree with her defender on the stall count. And gets a nice gainer with a forehand flick to Hill. Hill looking for the reset, she gets it off. Woodridge, big forehand, she has a wide open receiver. Can she run it down? It will be too far this time for Rachel Hundley.
Good decision from Woodridge to attempt that long pass to a receiver. He just went too far, probably picked up by the wind, but a great decision, and once again displaying how strong she is on the flick side, just ripping it.
Handley, on the other hand, loves Excel sheets, Excel spreadsheets and cats, but she also likes going deep, and she will get another chance to do so. And here is the score. It won't be Handley, but it will be Marie Gagné with the score for Soar, and not only a score, but another break.
That's the second, well, that's the two consecutive break point that Soar are making right now, so putting a lot of pressure on Berta, that are now trailing by 5, and there's still a lot of time to be played in this game, but the scoreboard might be the biggest threat right now for Berta, considering that the game will end for the first team reaching 15.
That's correct, Etienne. So we do have 30 minutes left, but it seems that Soar really took off after what seemed to be quite a tight game at the start. They did score 2 breaks at the beginning, right at the beginning of the game. Then the teams kept trading, and now Soar really on a stride with some consecutive breaks, and the teams take a timeout to really prepare for the last part of this game. We will take a little breather in the commentary booth ourselves.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back after the timeout. Soar USA breaking Berta several times in a row, extending their lead in this last game of today here on pitch 3 by 5 as they put up another pole, this time just behind the halfway line. And Canada will try their luck one more time. They center to Elias.
Soar once again are putting a zone defense, even though Berta is going downwind.
Harding working with Elias. Elias forced to go backwards to Dugan. Elias pointing in the spaces which she can see open. Now she's instructing Dugan to swing it to Kuhn. Harding getting open on this near sideline. In general, Berta has been doing pretty well against the zone. It's just usually that one last errant pass into the end zone. They're so patient.
There might be an opportunity for Berta's popper to get a little closer. It seems a little too far away to attempt a pass here.
There is Ho centering the disc. She's had several scores for this Berta team. Now a big swing to Harding. Again, no continuation. Elias to Dugan. Dugan sporting a blue headband. Elias sporting a blue face mask. And here is the unfortunate overthrow on the big swing. The wind took that completely out of reach of Harding. The wind now blowing kind of towards the camera. And there is Navarro picking up for Soar. And luckily, Harding is able to get a hand on that disc. And Berta respond with a big backhand for Harding. Could it be double bookends? Almost. She's just shy of the end zone. She just needs one more pass, and she gets it. That's a score for Berta.
I love Berta's transition on the last instance. Really picking up the disc and just going long right off the bat. And what a great reaction from Harding, just striking, even though we've seen her more on a handler duty so far in this game. So great reaction from number 13.
Look at that replay. Ava Tam really managing to wrap her hands around the disc despite it going a little behind her. Again, thanks everyone for the chat, for the engagement at the YouTube channel. We are getting some info that some of our roster numbers might not be as correct as we think. Cherwing seems to be number 22. She apparently was the one with an insane layout bid on the replays. I am sure that players will be able to find themselves on the replay eventually to enjoy all the cool highlights they have been feeding you all game. And here is another poll, this time by Berta, with a few more chances to break the American team. We're back with the solid handling of Metzler and Morris. She goes to Broom, and Broom goes to Obi, none other than Chinwe Obi, who we have seen several times on the receiving end in the end zone. She has 2 goals and 1 assist to her name, I believe. 31 years old, currently lives in Dallas. She's a senior user experience researcher. Well, I am enjoying the user experience of this game. She is currently the president of the Dallas Ultimate Association and part of the Women and Non-Binary Committee. Her fans at home include family, friends, and boyfriend. So hello to you. We hope you're enjoying this last game of today. And she's a foodie and also a former track and volleyball athlete. Big fan of croquette.
Very, very busy person. So I just love last possession for Soar for their goal. So really all open side cuts with the great timing and great pass and run action. So great display, and so far Soar has not been broken. So
that is correct. It might be a very difficult task for Berta to do so, but before they can even focus and start thinking about looks that would threaten the so far solid Soar offense. They will need to score another point themselves. Desjardins finds Ho. Ho fakes big in the open side, but actually wants to go to the break side. She does. Back to Desjardins. Desjardins with a huge forehand into the end zone. I can't believe it. Her receiver trips backwards. She has a laugh about it, but that looked like she hit herself hard. That is unfortunate. The field is slightly muddy. I believe when you have cleats with bigger studs, is that the word? It can easily happen that you find yourself tumbling backwards or forwards. Either way, it will be a turnover.
Good thing there were no arms there, but she was laughing at herself. So.
And a good second chance read by Hundley. And here is a turf disc trying to reach a defender down the line. So a second chance for some highlights from Berta. Oh, a huge bid, but out of reach of Nichols. Oh, good read. Harding trying to get in the way, but now it's Hundley looking for the reset. She gets it. That's Navarro with a wide swing. And another big swing into the end zone. Again, just out of reach of number 10, Morgenheim.
There was a foul on the last pass, I believe. So we'll go back to Navarro.
Sorry, that's Kappen.
Oh,
Kappen with the disc.
Sorry about that.
Disc will be tapped back in by Ambery. And another big bladey backhand right on the money. That is Cherway with the score.
Just love the way Soar went around or worked the lateral side of the field in order to create some space and to score their 14th point of the game, 1 point shy of winning the game. That was their 5th break point and their 3rd of the second half, while Berta is still looking for the first break point, explaining the point differential that we're seeing on the scoreboard.
So we are at the first potential game point. Still 20 minutes away from the time cap. But Soar really bringing lots of energy into this game. Berta trying to keep up, but Soar slowly but steadily increasing the margin. Sideline getting really hyped and active, hoping for the D-line to bring this game home and have the ladies enjoy a lovely evening here at the stables or else the paddocks. But a pull unfortunately goes out of bounds, so we will have enough time to breathe in and out before this potential first game point as Berta's handlers bring the disc to the brick mark. That is Connie Lee picking up for Berta. Goes wide to Kowalczyk. Nice low grab by Lee. Another low grab on the other sideline. Here's a lefty forehand by Lee. They continue through the first cup. They finally get to play. Here's a big backhand curving over the defender. Everyone is providing their instructions as to where the disc will go and where it should be collected, but it will be Soar
who
end up in possession
on this last backhand, unfortunately. Great attempt.
I believe that was a huge travel by Soar there, but we will forget about it as there was no call from the players, and a big forehand leaves the disc in the hands of Berta. Lee with a big gainer. She thinks about the backhand. She takes it. There's two players underneath, and it will be another point for Berta. Berta staying in this game. Excellent stuff from the players who we haven't had a chance to see in the game so much. And here they come, and they get around the Soar zone the way their teammates, who are seen more frequently, couldn't do. So excellent stuff. That was the earlier sideline support. Now they get a point on the board for Berta, staying in the game. 9-14.
So great field awareness by Lee, just seeing her two teammates getting open on the opposite side, and just going with a nice backhand cross field, and a nice grab by her teammate, just kneeling down to catch the disc for Berta's 9th point of the game, still trailing by 5.
So a little chat regarding time zones. People trying to figure out whether Canadian fans are able to watch with the time difference. But another game point for Soar. A big pull from Berta. And Berta will try their luck with a bit of poachy zone. Here is an upline cut for Brewer. They go quickly through the middle to Coombs. Coombs moving on to Broom. Broom centers to Metzler. They keep swinging the disc. Now nearing the end zone. And here is the defense, but she needs to go one more time. Catches the D to make sure that the disc is collected. Berta with a chance to stay alive in this women's Masters game. Now, not too many options. A big poach in the open side, so they need to put up a floaty hug. Who's going to read it better? It will be the defense. Amy Broom really making sure she positions herself so that number 14, Fong, can't really get there. So the Americans get the disc back. They look for the reset. They get it. Brewer back to the far sideline. And here's a nice forehand to Metzler, who opts for a give and go. There's Brewer again with a wide swing to Morris. Morris, very steady and impressive with her cuts and throw. Here's the inside break. And who else to score the last point of this game than Chinwe Obi? She's been huge for Soar in the end zone. She has 3 goals to her name right now, 1 assist, and that is game, ladies and gentlemen. Soar win over Berta, 59. What a game, Etienne.
And let's give all the credit to Soar's O-line, who didn't got broken in any way for it during this game. There was a couple of turnovers, obviously, but still they were always able to recover from it. So no break point from Berta throughout this game. So what a performance from Soar O-line.
Excellent experience. Mostly thanks to you fans watching at home, supporting your favorite teams here at WMUCC. Thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging. Please remember that this stream is copyrighted by the World Flying Disc Federation, who is bringing you coverage at their YouTube channel for free all week long. Thank you so much for being with us. There's no more games today, but plenty more coming tomorrow. Please tune in. My name is Rachel Toshnerova, and I was here with
Etienne Fournier.
Thank you for watching, and we're checking out for today.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlicker Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Love.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches, and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo! If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens un membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Stop Ulti TV فيلم erogen كما Ultimate Vendromena. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love frisbee. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Ulti TV.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe. Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Ulti.tv.
Live chat, it needs to be subscribers only, basically, and one subscribe for a minute. Just in it, filters out.